Sea Point Promenade is a hugely popular stretch of the Atlantic seaboard, and those who use this walkway and the waters around it may have noticed some untoward smells. Well, there's a good chance it's from this, an outflow pipe which pumps in the region of 40 million litres of untreated effluent into the ocean every day. The cleanliness and safety of Cape Town's waters has once again come under the spotlight after marine conservation photographer Jean Tresfon recently published aerial photographs on his Facebook account of what he claims are sewage plumes, most notable around outfall sites in Greenpoint, Camps Bay and Hout Bay. The City of Cape Town operates 3 marine outfalls that discharge wastewater 1.7 kilometers from the shoreline at a depth of 28 meters, where the effluent is supposedly safely dispersed away from the coast.
Effluent is all the wastewater, household wastewater, excluding stormwater. So your bath and your shower and dishwasher and of course your toilets and sewage. So that all gets pumped out to sea. Like everybody else, I assumed that of course it was treated before it was put in the sea, and doing a little bit of research I found out that no, that's not the case. So in fact what happens is the wastewater is screened, which means they pass it through a sieve to remove the bigger items, and then the balance is pumped into the sea. And yeah, I flying around the coast, I've noticed these plumes and photographed them, assuming for 1 second that you accept that that's okay. The fact that it's bubbling to the surface and playing back to shore is obviously fairly problematic, and I know a few people that have actually gotten sick from paddling and diving and surfing in this water.
One such case is that of sea kayaker Edda Bisset, who became violently ill after a paddling session in 3 Anchor Bay.
On this particularly Sunday afternoon, we had there was a really bad smell in the bay in 3 Anchor Bay. It would smell like acrid, and the water was a dark discoloured, like a green colour, greeny brown colour. Now we weren't sure what this was from. Was it from a stormwater system or from sewage or whatever it was? But anyway, I did my Eskimo roll and found myself coming up. And even though I kept my mouth firmly shut, you go under the water and you come back on the other side, I had a really bad taste in my mouth. So, you know, the water obviously gets pushed up through your sinuses, goes down into your gut, then you have this in your taste in your mouth. And I went home, and within about 2 hours I had like diarrhea, stomach cramps, I had a headache, developed that night, you know, and I felt really awful the next day. But the question we want to ask is there no other way of treating the sewage? I mean, pumping sewage into the ocean seems to be the easy route. The city's getting bigger, it's getting more populous, there's more and more people obviously moving into Cape Town. And so what is the ultimate solution to this thing? You can't just keep increasing the amount of sewage flowing out into the sea. There's another issue as well. We have a stormwater system that flows into 3 Anchor Bay. 3 pipes that come out. A stormwater reticulation system was built for millions of rands. And when we have heavy rains or a flood, you must see the stuff that flows out into 3 Anchor Bay. I mean, there's things that look like animal organs are floating in the bay, literally. Where they come from, we don't know. Nappies, tampons, condoms, plastic bags, rubbish. I mean, flowing out of the city now. This stuff should not be dumped in our oceans.
E. coli is human bacteria, and its presence in water is the standard indicator for wastewater pollution. Edda took the liberty of employing a laboratory to conduct an independent evaluation of the E. coli levels in the bay on a clear day, and the results yielded levels far above the accepted standard. This is also happening within a marine protected area.
You can imagine what would happen on a day where you've got this effluent flowing out, you get a westerly wind blowing or a westerly current, pushes the stuff into the bay, it gets trapped there, and on the day that I got sick and some other people, that stuff pulls up into the bay. Now you can imagine what the reading would be then.
News 24 invited public health specialist Edda Weimann into our studio to weigh in on the matter. Edda has conducted and published studies on elevated E. coli levels in Cape waters and at some of Cape Town's blue flag beaches like Clifton. Edda says public awareness around wastewater pollution is reaching a tipping point, and we can no longer ignore the facts.
There were quite a lot of issues last year about closure of beaches, even Hout Bay, and the fleas are E. coli. There is a high level of E. coli, and sometimes you're not even allowed to sail there, and swimming isn't allowed at all. And I think it becomes more and more, people are becoming more and more aware of it. That's a problem. And our rivers are polluted. There was another publication published also in December that even close to Blue Flag Beach in Falls Bay, there's a high level of E. coli. And then also my investigation that I did, so it just adding up facts, And also there were also reports that fish from South Africa is not longer sometimes imported to Europe because the E. coli level are too high,
We approached City of Cape Town Councillor Ernest Sonnenberg, who is responsible for utility services, to explain how effluent has been allowed to endanger the public. He assured us the marine outfalls posed no threat to the coastline.
We are confident that the effluent that flows via the outfall does not have an impact on that immediate area. Okay, and then obviously there's the testing. We've also seen that there was some testing done in various areas where you have informal settlements, where you have stormwater systems that flows into those areas. So I mean, I cannot confidently say that it's not a stormwater issue. I am merely commenting on the fact of the outfall, and then obviously the coastal management in itself that are being administered by different departments. And my portion would only relate to the actual outfalls. The issue around the outfall, that has also been referred to the Department of Water Affairs for them to do the testing, because ultimately that is their domain. So they would inform us whether the levels of E. coli, whatever, within the proximity of the outfalls is of such a nature that is concern, that it needs to be concerned. And that has not happened. You know, we like I say, our own testing has proven that it's within the limits, and then obviously we also employ the CSIR to do testing.
The city is, however, in the process of applying for a coastal waters discharge permit as per the Integrated Coastal Management Act of 2009, after several delays they claim were out of their hands. In the absence of an economically viable alternative, it includes a public participation phase from the 1st of June till the 10th of July, where the public can submit comments or recommendations to the municipality. For now, it seems like it's the public's only short-term solution in stemming the flow. Nick Pawson for News 24 Live.